Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm Boosted John and today we are going to be putting my built 500 wheel horsepower. Sorry Pasha, hold on. Wait Pasha, give me pit vipers for this. Alright, sick, thanks dude. Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm Boosted John and today we're going to be putting my built 500 horsepower capable dude. Alright, pit vipers, here we go. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I'm Boosted John and today we're going to be putting my built 500 wheel horsepower capable LS VTEC B-Series Honda motor into my EG Hatch. Yes, that was a mouthful, but that is what we are doing today. Before we even get started, I have to make a quick run out to O'Reilly's to get an axle to make sure that my transmission is not fricked. In a couple videos previously, we rebuilt the transmission. Let's get going, let's get out there, and then we can get this engine in the car. I can't show it to you guys because I already started working on it, but But anyway, let's go. No, oh no, open. Oh, I should bring this. Good thing I came back in here. All right, if you guys are new here or just need a refresher in general, because I know it's been a while since, since big moves have been made on the EG, I blew up a fully built LS VTEC CSS, it's just a sick LS VTEC engine. I blew it up last year or so, and it's been in the process of being rebuilt for a very long time. Very recently, I just had a stock LS in it that I boosted and was just ripping around with. I blew that up as well, hence Blown Motor Club merch. That's the merch. Link in the description down below if you guys want to support the channel. 2 blown motors later, I'm finally assembling the sickest motor I've ever built for this car. It's gonna be the most amount of power this car has ever seen. And today we're gonna put it in the car. We might even get the first start. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, we're gonna get an axle right now because we have to test out the trans and make sure it's all good. And then yeah, we're gonna throw the trans on the engine and hopefully get the motor in the car tonight. Let's test out this new axle. The old axle would not stay in the trans, so hopefully this one will. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, boys. The engine's in the car and we are one step closer to making it to Automotion in Wisconsin Dells on May 21st and 22nd. That is the goal for this build. I'm trying to drive this car there. Turbocharged, tuned, like making 500 wheel horsepower or whatever. That's the goal. That's what I'm trying to build this car for. Obviously to go run some sick passes at the drag strip, but that's the first major thing that I would like to do with this car. With that said, the engine is literally just bolted in. As you can see, it's just on mounts. And so here comes the fun part of trying to plug everything in, connect hoses, vacuum lines, whatever, wiring. This is the part that's just tedious and a little bit annoying, but we're gonna get through it. And I didn't mention this in the beginning of the video, but we're gonna be starting this motor for the first time naturally aspirated. I have a naturally aspirated, just like a header for it. We're gonna be doing that just to have like a slight break-in period, drive the car around, and just make sure that the engine itself has no issues before I start throwing boost at it. Slightly different approach from what I've done in the past, but I think it's probably the more sensible way to go, and that's what we're gonna do with this engine. Guys, I'm leaving this white valve cover on here just until, like, I'm gonna put the cool new valve cover on right at the end. So stay tuned to see what that looks like. I'm mainly doing that because I don't wanna damage the powder coat on the new valve cover in the process of installing everything. So I'm gonna leave this on here for now. Anyway, with that said, we have a lot of work to do from this point. The engine is literally just bolted in, as you saw from the other night. Now it's time to do things like axles, shift linkage, just getting the suspension put together, and also while the car is up in the air, I'll bolt on the naturally aspirated header. Today is Saturday, and I think that if I get going here and I really start cranking, we could potentially drive this car today. Maybe. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna see if I can do it. I'm gonna try really hard. I gotta go eat some food though. No, Pasha, don't put the food part in it. It doesn't need to be there. This is how I typically go about the bitch pin. I use one of these Allen sockets, and I'll just butt it up underneath it, and I'll just hit the Allen socket with a hammer.
I told a lie. If I made you.
You might be asking yourself, John, don't you live in Chicago? And isn't it like still winter? And the answer is yes. But luckily, we got a 68-degree day in the beginning of March. Unbelievable. I'm so happy. I could be out here in the driveway, under the car, wrenching. Dude, I'm like warm in this sweatshirt right now. I might take this thing off. Jesus. Brand new axle nut, as you guys saw from the other day. Just picked her up. Nice clean splines, we like it. Now you just gotta do the dirty, stick it in, and put the axle nut on and torque her down. Also, this is the first time I've used the jack for jacking up this arm, and it's way easier. Duh, it's so obvious, but still.
If I made you cry when I said goodbye.
All right, boys, now that the axles are in, that was one of the more annoying parts of this process. Not the most annoying, though. The most annoying is what I'm about to have to do, and that's routing all the wires, routing lines, getting everything to where it needs to be. That's gonna be the most annoying part. I'm just gonna not even film it. I'm just gonna skip to when I'm doing the fun stuff. I know that there are definitely some of you guys that would like to know, where everything goes and the wiring and everything, but honestly, I don't know where a lot of it goes. It's gonna take a lot of trial and error and figuring stuff out. So I'm gonna just do that. I'm gonna get it done, and then I'll touch base with you guys once I have all that figured out. So I've got a lot installed at this point. Most of the lines and wiring I have pretty much figured out in my head where everything's gonna go. Before I go ahead and start throwing in like the intake manifold and the exhaust manifold, I am gonna do something that a lot of you guys aren't really gonna like, but it's just a temporary solution for running the car NA right now. So let me show you something real quick. So this is the new intake manifold that I've been working on for a few weeks. All ported, port matched, everything. Like, this intake manifold is sick. But you'll notice I have stock injectors on it. I'm running these injectors because I'm gonna be running just a base map, like a stock base map for this car, stock tune. And with that said, I just want like as much consistency as I possibly can get, and I'm gonna get that out of stock injectors. Now, also, it's really hard to find OBD1 injectors, and that's what my wiring harness is, my engine harness on this car. So these are OBD2 injectors. So I have OBD2 plugs for these, and I'm gonna be cutting the wires and just literally twisting them and electrical taping them to the jumpers that I have on the car right now. I'll get new jumpers once I get new injectors. It's all planned out, don't worry. Just enjoy. Everything's gonna be fine, probably. All Alright guys, it is finally time to put the intake manifold on. I'm really excited about it because I have like 15 hours worth of work into that intake manifold just in porting. Tons of work into this intake manifold, so I'm super excited to put it on the motor and see what it looks like. I have a brand new thermal gasket here. I'm gonna go ahead and put some Honda Bond on the gasket just around the water port and then stick it on, and then intake manifold goes on and we can hook everything up, and we're so close, boys. We're so close. Yep, there we go. Nice and smooth, we like that. Hopefully the intake manifold goes on the same way. Let's get these. Oh shit, be careful with those. Dude! Money. My brake lines are hitting a little. They're not bad. They're just touching. Alright, I started polishing this thing, but I'm not done. It's already time to put it on the motor, so I'm gonna finish it with it on the motor, off camera at some point. It's gonna look awesome. Dude, let's go. NA-B series. First time, actually. You know, obviously I've done like NA LS setups, but first time NA B series VTEC on the Boosted John YouTube channel. Huge thanks to Mark for making me this this makeshift plug. He didn't have a -6 and cap. And as you guys may know, this radiator has been set up for cooling for the turbo. So I'm gonna need to plug this off in order to run this engine NA. Thankfully, Mark made something real last second, real quick. Just threw a bolt and a piece of hose with some Honda Bond, a hose clamp, and push lock fitting, and here we are. Here's our plug. So let's get this radiator installed. Well, boys, the truck's fricked, apparently. I already knew that, but anyway, we're heading to AutoZone real quick. We got to pick up coolant, oil, an oil filter, plugs for coolant lines that we aren't using. What else? And basically just the rest of the little things that we need to get this engine running for the very first time. Oh, spark plugs. I have to add that to the list right now. I need to call. I should call. Anyway, while I'm out, I figured I would just take a second and remind you guys to, if you're liking this video, hit that like button. Also, if you're liking this video, click that subscribe button. And also, there's some merch in the description down below, and also right below the description and above the comments, there should be like a store page with all my merch that pops up. If you guys want to support the channel further, please feel free to pick up merch. That's the best way to do it. Anyway, I'll see you guys when I get back from the store. All right, boys, we're finally onto the cool part. I have the battery in, I have the air filter intake system on. Now it's time to remove. Wait for the wind, wait for the wind, wait for the wind. God, it's so windy. Now it's time to remove the old white valve cover and put on the new purple valve cover. Spark plugs, fluids, and then we are good to crank this engine, boys. Oh my God, it looks so sick. All right, spark plugs. Some fresh new plugs. These are BKR6E. They're like one step colder for a B series. And this is perfect. It's getting a little bit darker outside right now, so we'll be able to see the timing light for setting base timing. Nice. Same thing there. Sheesh. All right, boys, so far we have everything done that I can possibly think of right now. All we have to do is add fluids, set a base map, like a base tune on the ECU, and then we can crank this engine. We can try to start it. If it starts, awesome, that's gonna be huge. And then when it does, I have to set base timing by adjusting the distributor. You guys will see. All right, now yes, I'm running Fram oil in a built motor. This sounds really dumb, but for the break-in period, this is gonna be perfect. It's supposed to be a conventional oil, which it is, and it's just really to clean out the engine. You know, I'm gonna run this oil in here for like 100 miles or less, and then we're gonna do an oil change and throw some full synthetic in it. So this is purely just to get it lubricated and make sure that we can filter out all the yucky stuff that is inside the motor from the assembly process. And this is 5 quarts. I think 5 quarts might be slightly overfilling it, but that's okay. We gotta do trans fluid still, and we have to do coolant. We're gonna do coolant next. Shout out to my friend Rob for letting me borrow a super cool coolant bleeder funnel. This thing is rad. I know I have to get like some kind of adapter. Dude, that fits so nicely as is. I could just run that. I'm a pretty big noob. A little bit of 50-50. Booster John don't frick around with concentrate just because, you know guys, shit's convenient. What can I say? I'm gonna just quickly look for leaks. I don't think we would have any at this point. Nope, we're good so far. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Oh, big leak. What is that? Why? From where? Oh shit, dude. That is not good. Boys, that was a pretty worst case Ontario situation. We just had a coolant leak coming from the water port on the intake manifold. I'll show you exactly where. Right here on the intake manifold, was a water port and it was leaking from between the manifold and the head. That really sucks. I don't exactly know what I'm gonna do. God, dude, that sucks so much. All right, that might be it for tonight. I might just stop working for tonight and pick back up tomorrow morning. It's a whole nother set of issues. I'm gonna have to probably take the intake manifold off. Damn, that sucks, dude. That sucks. All right, it is now the next day, and I have figured out what was causing my coolant leak. It's such a dummy move. It always is, but check it out. So my 2-piece intake manifold has 2 water ports. You have to pick which one you're gonna use for whichever cylinder head you're using. Well, I don't know how I messed this up, but I switched them. I put them in the wrong spots. So it was just dumping coolant straight from the head. So I just cleaned it up a little bit. I'm gonna clean it up more. I'm gonna swap the plug and the port, and then I'll bolt it back on and we should be good to go. All right, boys, we're pretty much sorted. We're pretty much ready to go. Intake manifold's back on. I put some trans fluid in the trans. Now it's just time to load a base map, and then I'm gonna go ahead and check for fuel leaks before I crank the engine. We're really getting down to the last few seconds here, last few minutes. Tensions are starting to build. I'm excited, I'm nervous. I'm gonna go ahead and load this base map. We're gonna check for fuel leaks, and then I'll crank the engine. All right, as kind of expected, the battery is like completely dead. I wonder if I could just rob the one from the EK real quick. All right, let's check for fuel leaks. I gotta grab the key for this one out of there. I'm just gonna turn the ignition on. I'm not gonna crank it or anything. Can you just be over here looking for fuel leaks? I wouldn't stick your head over the engine bay just in case something sprays out.
Yeah, I'm gonna open them.
All right, here. This line right here is fuel coming into the rail. Anywhere along this rail could leak. This is an end cap. It could leak from here. And then this line is the fuel going back to the gas tank. So it goes in and out.
Okay.
So anywhere in this vicinity, it could leak. Any leaks? No leaks. Okay, base map, and then we crank it. All right, base map's up. You know what? I actually want to do one more thing first.
Should we take it off the jack stand?
No, because we're bleeding the coolant. We're gonna do this for the EK. I want to do one thing really quick. At this point, this should not be an issue, but because we're about to crank it for the very first time, I want to spin the engine over one full rotation and just make sure that nothing hits, everything's good, everything's clear. Because I would hate to crank it and piston hits a valve or spark plug, and then we have problems. So far, so good. Nice. Timing is spot on. All right, let's crank it. I don't know, should I just start it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna start it. I'm so nervous. All right, here we go. So I don't have the throttle cable hooked up. So basically here's what's happening. This is connected to the throttle pedal down there. And when you hit the gas, it pulls on this cable. When it pulls on this cable, it turns the throttle. So you know what? I actually might have you go in there and crank the engine while I manipulate the throttle. All right, so you don't even have to like push in clutch or anything. You literally just have to
Start it.
turn the key.
Okay.
wonder why. Huh. So close. We'll get back to you in a bit. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, try. All right, okay. Sounds kind of weird. All right, so I found that only one of the cylinders was getting fuel, and that's cylinder number 2. So I went ahead and switched the injector plugs just to see if it was a wiring thing or if it's an injector thing. These are very old injectors, so I'm also gonna try smacking them with this extension here. And I also closed the spark plug gap a little bit. I have it's set pretty tight right now. It's at 0.35. So we're gonna give this another shot. Turn, go ahead. It's okay.
Dude, it was sounding good. I wanted to hear it.
It did sound good, but I have to check things now. So I think the plugs or the wiring's fine. I think I just started smacking the spark plugs and then they started working. Alright, let's see if they started firing or not. If they started firing, we're good.
Oh, it smells like a boat. Where? Yay! Let's go drive it.
Hang on. I can't drive it. I don't have a throttle cable. I forgot. You can just start it whenever.
All right, here we go.
It's running smooth, boys.
Let's go.
Ooh, baby. Inside Honda, I locked the timing at 16 degrees advanced. There's a setting in there to do it. I'll show you guys in a second. But now I have the timing light set up, and we're just gonna set base timing using the crank pulley. So I just set base timing. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I did that in Honda. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this. But anyway, you go to online, you go to set timing, and then it locks the timing. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the car off and then start it again. Cool. Now we're just trying to bleed the coolant and we'll go from there. I'm telling you.